Hi there. Welcome to this week's edition of Monday Messages. All right, let's just jump right to it. Let's get right to the message this week. This week has to do with change and dealing with change in your life. Actually, I want to say I was inspired by this message. Friend David, who had posted something on Facebook about, accepting times of change and moving on. Back in the day when I was footloose and fancy free, I used to host shows for Nickelodeon, and those were fun times, and I loved it because I would travel the road, get to dump slime, throw pies, all kinds of stuff. It was like little kiddie concerts. It was awesome, and it was a great time in my life. However, eventually I ended up moving into like a management field at Universal, but I wasn't willing to let go of that old lifestyle of hosting these game shows. And then I became a mom, and I was still a mom and working as a manager at Universal Studios Hollywood, and still every now and then going on these trips as this Nickelodeon game show host. And I wasn't willing to let go of it. And finally, Nickelodeon said, "Okay, thank you." It's time to close this chapter. Time to close this chapter of the book and move on. In fact, I always wondered how it would end. I thought, oh, are they going to have a big Kelly celebration for me? When I leave, because I've been with them for, I hosted shows for like 17 years. I was one of the original Game Lab. I was pretty full of myself, and how it actually ended was much better for me. Was that I get a phone call while I'm taking my son to the zoo. He had just fallen, scraped his knee. He's screaming, crying. My phone rings. I'm answering it, and it's Bill from the production office saying, "Hey, so how are you? Listen, we've decided you're not going to work out for us anymore." And so I'm listening to this while my son's literally bleeding out. I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you. All right, appreciate it. Goodbye." And then hung up. And that was the end of my Nickelodeon career. And then I went and I put a band-aid on my kid's knee and went on with my day at the zoo. And then it was kind of a weird feeling not knowing that was no longer a part of my life, because for so many years I was the Nickelodeon game show host. And letting go of that part of my identity and that part of my life was just a hard part to accept, because at the time I wasn't a Nickelodeon game show. I was a manager of front gate sales at Universal Studios Hollywood, married, living in by the beach in Long Beach, and mother of a toddler that had a thing for falling and busting his knee open. So that was where I was, but I still wanted to hold on to that old piece of life. Even though when I would go, it would be just a hassle, because I would have to try and figure out what to do with Liam. Things would go crazy with my job while I was away. I would have to figure out getting the time off. It wasn't the same, you know. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, okay, phases of life, when you have to just kind of let go, realize when one phase is over, just saying, okay, I'm okay. This is not part of my life, anymore. It was fun. It was great. I enjoyed it. Now it's time to see what this next phase of life. My dear friend Patsy said, what you always have to say is, okay, and end and what's next. Okay, this is thank you. Close the chapter. Okay, now what's next? And that's where I'm at today. A lot of you, maybe some of you watching this, know that at the time of my life, I worked for the YMCA. I still work for the YMCA. I started there in 2011, and it was great for me at the time because I was a mom, and I almost said I was a single mom, because I wasn't. My husband, I still have a husband. Single mom sounds so much better, though. It makes for a better story. Anyway, I was needing to help supplement the income for my husband's job at the time. Gave me childcare. I was able to serve the community and meet lots of people and work for an organization that I truly believe in and love. And flash forward here to 2021, and I've been praying and thinking about it, and it's like, okay, you know what? It's time to end this chapter and move on to this new chapter of my life that I want to start. But I got to be willing to let go of this old chapter. And it doesn't mean that it won't still hold a place in my heart and won't be part of who I am and what I love to do. But after almost 10 years, I've decided that I'm going to be leaving the YMCA and moving to my own speaking career and really pursuing my dreams of becoming a professional speaker and devoting my time to that. During COVID, I wrote a book. I'm in the process of writing a book. It's still kind of editing all that fun stuff, but stay tuned. But I got things I want to get done, and I don't want to have any regrets. And when it came time to go to work, and I was getting a pit in my stomach every day, I was like, oh, even though it was just literally coming into my office, sitting on and starting the computer, I was like, oh, I got to train. It was not, I was burned out. I was just burned out. And it's just like, okay, we don't need the job right now. And now by me staying in the job, I'm keeping somebody who could really be enjoying the job and bringing so much more to the job than I could. By just sticking around, I'm preventing somebody else from filling those shoes that I no longer really have the desire to fill anymore, even though I love the YMCA. And so I talked to my boss, and I said I'll be leaving in uh, uh, June 1st, because I know I want to spend this summer with my son, going out and doing things. That's what I want to do this summer. I want to be free to just enjoy life with my son. That we didn't get to spend anything doing last summer. This summer I want to get out and just live life and have fun, and not have to worry about working, and still pursuing my dream of becoming a professional speaker. So that's where I am right now. So, and it feels like the right. And after I had the conversation with my boss, it was a good conversation. I felt good. I didn't feel any regret, and that's how I knew I did the right thing. That's how I knew, yeah, that was the right move for me. There was no regret. There was actually just sort of sense of calm, like, okay, all right, now let's give these last few months my all for the Y, and give back what was such a great blessing in my life, and give them time to kind of fill my shoes with the right person who is going to be the next person to fill in the chapter at the Y. So excited that, yes, we're starting a new phase of life. Still sadness that you're leaving friends and those that you love so much that have been part of your life in the past 10 years, but I'm still friends with a lot of them on Facebook. I'm sure, it's not like I'm not going to ever see them again. In fact, I always run into everybody at the Y at the Harris Theater, so I know I'll definitely be running into people. But it's exciting. It's exciting times when, embracing the change rather than fearing the change. I'm going to embrace the change. So what about you? Are you struggling with something? Are you holding on to something because you're afraid to let it go? You're not sure if you want to let it go? Go ahead, let it go and just see what happens. If you close a chapter on the book of life that you've finished, it allows you to open up a new book and start a whole new series. And that's where I am at today. And I'm interested to see if this relates to anything that you guys are going through. Are you failing to hold on, failing to close a chapter of your life that needs to be closed so that you can start this brand new, exciting chapter that's just waiting out there for you to have? Life is out there waiting for you to live. So go out there and live it, enjoy it, have fun. It goes by way too quick. And it's definitely, we want to cherish every single second that we have been blessed with. This truly is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. It's awesome. Get out there, live life. Okay, that's all I got. That's my message of hope this week. And if you're enjoying these, subscribe, and we will be doing this every Monday. Actually, I might miss next Monday because I'm going to be on spring break. So There may not be a Monday Night Message next week, but there'll be one the following week. All right. I'll see you maybe next week, possibly 2 weeks.